about the discussion in terms of HGC moving out the community for different areas that is far and wide, as far as south, all right, where the community seem to be at edge. Some people in the community seem to be talking about it is good for the area, if they get their life would be improved, while some people is stating that their pocket wouldn't allow for them to move in these far areas and still be economically sound in how they carry about their family, in how they operate. Mr. Boyd, welcome.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for the invitation. And I believe that this show serves a very pertinent purpose at this time, because the issues that will be raised here directly impact on the inhabitants of East Port of Spain.
Correct, correct.
Now, the citizens of this area are trying to wrap their head around what is happening, because what they are seeing is that they will be moved out of an area that they have, where they have lived traditionally for many years.
Centuries.
Yes.
Centuries.
Understand?
It was.
And so that's an uprooting. Mm-hmm. You're uprooting the community and you're going to relocate them elsewhere. Okay?
But what to say about, let me just butt in here a little bit. What to say about the other residents from far, I like to call them the black intelligentsia, all right, wannabe oligarchy, always striving towards, stifling a struggle. Anytime there is an issue concerning people improving, fighting for the improvement, they'll butt in and say, oh, the government is right, and there is a dump, there is crime-ridden places, and so on. What do you think about that particular issue?
Yeah, okay. Well, that is something that will always happen.
But is it right? It could happen, and it would be discouraged. It would be more or less discrediting one particular type of our people, while the other race, as they call it, the 1%, seem to get what they want. What do you think? Whose ideas it was to sort of move out these people from? They talk about improvement of the place. They talk about revitalization. They talk about beautification.
All right. Now listen. Anytime there's a problem,
yeah,
you understand? People sit to discuss the problem, and ideas are espoused. People come up with ideas to see how they could address or how they could solve this problem.
Although to the demise of other human beings.
Sometimes that is the case.
Right. So you for the gentrification?
No, I am here.
Because what you're saying is that some people decide on the whole issue of moving out the people, rooting out the people from their comfort zone, from their family life, and sending them as far as south. If they get chance, they send them to Tobago or even Grenada. How much consultation? They say that they had consultation with the people, whether it was 5 years ago, whether it's 3 years ago. The whole issue is if it was reasonable consultation, because there's an uproar. They beat and brutalize people. The Friday the 4th or the 8th, all right? And people was traumatized, right? All people, that is. Would you agree to that?
No.
Of course not.
Anytime you need discussion, you must end in the dialogue with the
proper
people
consultation.
affected,
Right.
you understand?
Right.
And try to reach some consensus.
Tell me something. Something was a burning issue was being discussed as to HGC being a corporation,
Okay.
calling in people in a room, separate from the other family or legal representation, and saying that we having consultation in that way. Is that you consider that as
No,
anything?
it doesn't sound to be professional. That doesn't sound to be professional and, done properly.
They overstep the bounds. You would use such word? They will be overstepping the bounds. That cannot be legal. How you could put up with a corporation discussing your future? You would always find an unfair, unbalanced sort of arrangement there. And that is, I understand, that is how the HGC dealt with it. There's also a view that certain influential people was behind the whole thing, because if they're going to develop East Port of Spain, they need to get rid of these cockroach, according to how they just be calling people in East Port of Spain. Cockroach, demon.
Okay, we are now having this problem in our country. But this problem is universal.
All right, so we should accept it,
No.
Mm.
What is now happening here has been happening the world over.
What is your point?
The point is, sometimes it becomes necessary to
uproot people.
Yeah.
Right. Don't concern about their well-being.
No.
Yeah, I want to get your point.
The idea behind it should be for the betterment of everyone involved.
I agree with that. And some of the discussion was that they would have built places, they would have put them in places,
temporary housing.
Temporary houses nearby.
Okay.
And whenever they build these buildings, they put aside and they provide space for them to come back in the neighborhood. So there wouldn't be no loss, there wouldn't be no discomfort of a family being separated and destroyed. What do you think about that approach?
I think that is a very valid approach. Because I'll tell you something. You see, once the area is being developed, it means it's just a matter of time before the citizens themselves that live in that area start developing themselves too.
I agree with that.
Because normally, if a person lives in a rundown area with no amenities, you understand, you find that it affects the psyche of the person.
Right.
But
so what you're saying, there should be more caring, a more caring governance.
No, what I'm saying, if the place is going to be developed and you're going to bring back the people, then the idea is good.
That is not the case. Remember, we're just speculating as to what should have been, what was decided before, and issues change, ideas change, and right now they have them as far as south. Right now, people had to pay 100%. The passage have to go in transport. In that passage, the 100% of the salary have to go in transport and things like that. a livelihood out of. All right, so we are embarking on that, and we want to sort of take this opportunity to appeal to the corporation, the CEO precisely, because we understand she's blocking and blocking and blocking. Now, our experience is that if people in Woodbrook or Goodwood Park want a tree fall down, they're running fast with their backhoe and their equipment to solve that problem. But we here are trying to create a sort of livelihood for ourselves so that we could survive. Because there isn't any corporation, there isn't any employment opportunity efficiently for us to survive in Port of Spain, in these areas of East Port of Spain. I am living here, so I could tell you. All right? And I just want to wind up here. You will give your opinion after. Yeah. All right? The fact remains that we are hoping, people is excited. On the 26th, there will be a talk, there will be a field trip with several groups that have their little plots and so on. We will be visiting them through the hearts and mind. The police apparatus will have transport and things like that. Okay. That is a department that does support the community. Okay. And we, along with the Ministry of Agriculture, because agricultural department is part and parcel of our drive initiative, right? So, what do you think about an initiative like that will create employment opportunities for the residents of the area? Notwithstanding, they have in mind to gentrify the whole area. What do you think? We adding all of that together.
On the face of it,
yeah,
it's good. It's a good idea. Mm-hmm. It's an idea where the residents of the area is trying to make use of the available land for agricultural purposes.
Yeah.
And that's going to produce some food, let's say, basically. Some food,
livelihood as well.
And some income.
Yes.
Right. Now, planning must of necessity have to be a part of that arrangement.
Yeah.
Because the lots that are being looked at where these activities will take place, some are owned privately, okay, some might be owned by the government.
Let me come in here.
Yeah.
I don't think it is anything like that. We have gotten permission for one particular property that give us the okay, the approval. And what we was asking for from the CEO, because it's not the councillor we had to go to, because we was told that we had to go to the CEO, right? So we write a letter to the CEO asking for a backhoe, all right, and a truck to clear the property.
Okay.
In other instance, there would be
in other
localities. There will be abandoned land where they throw rubbish and old car and so on. And our proposition is, right, that we utilize those lands.
Make that land productive.
Correct. So to say, well, it have land that we moving into private land, it ain't nothing like that. It is to utilize properties that is abandoned where we get permission from, and we're trying to do something as a means of creating employment for the Eiger youths. We even did a workshop here at Seapost last month where we getting the youths and them to agree. We're getting them to sort of shake hands and going forward with such an initiative.
Be involved in the exercise.
So that might be a peace accord striking due to this initiative that we're trying to promote. So it has nothing to do with private land we're going into, nothing like that. It is official agreement we're coming up with and we're utilizing various funding. Perhaps even the MP give his assurance that he's willing to in principle, that is, he's willing to fund such a program. He's willing to send out letters there because his constituency at stake. It will eliminate the murders. It will sort of tighten up on the murders, right? It will tighten up on the crime. So, again, what you say, what is your thoughts in terms of that?
Now,
is this a good? I don't want you to
but
elaborate.
Basically,
it is a good. Yeah. It is good.
It is good.
Good. So we'll move on from that.
Okay.
Right? The other point we like to put in, we like you to give us a sort of feedback on, is the cultural divide. What constitutes black intelligentsia, wannabe oligarchy? That is a serious issue that is facing us. Well, what constitutes that? What is your view on that? Because there is several, let me finish my point, please. Don't attempt to answer it prematurely, because that is a ticklish question we're asking.
Okay.
I referred to it early on, but I wanted to be more understood. What I said early on is that when there is a struggle, all right, in the community, we have certain people over radio giving a negative point of view about people development and so on, or people struggling to improve their life. They always pinpointing that the person have a $1,000 suit. They're pinpointing negativity, and one come to the conclusion that they want to be some kind of a oligarchy. They want to be somebody else who they're not is, right? So, seeing that you get all that understanding of what the point I'm making, please give your take on that.
Traditionally,
yeah,
in our country,
yeah,
there's been a culture among our population of copying things that we see other people on the outside.
All right, let me sort of, as I tell you,
we copying.
No, I want to explain myself further. There is a sort of concept of belief that if you acquire wealth,
okay,
you need to sort of adopt a certain personality. Them over there coming to try to take your wealth. So they figure that there's a divide in terms of we need to protect the interests of the rich.
About the have and the have not.
The have and the have not. I rather you answer me it in that terminology than we are accustomed to that, or in the world. If we're talking about Trinidad and how the cultural divide really affect us. And we are making a special appeal to those who believe that they want to be oligarchy, they want to mix with the oligarchy, they see themselves as oligarchy. We want to remind them that we are all one people, and stop coming against your poor brothers. You don't identify with the sufferings of the poor, right? You always figure, well, then you have something negative to say, right? Because you believe, well, then your interest is on threat, is a threat. I figure you get a clearer picture there. Give me
Before I address that thing, I want to say something. That mentality that you just described there is not going to go away anyway soon.
I agree with you. So what you suggest? What you suggest? Good answer. Good answer. But what you suggest? We remain in that sort of tailspin?
And listen. Mm-hmm. And we live in a society that is regulated. There are regulations here in this society. People can't just up and do whatever they want, because we have certain institutions in the society that will form to do certain things.
So we're suggesting that we bring that we have some lawsuit against.
That's why I said planning.
The have and the
planning and discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Stakeholders is necessary for stakeholders to come together and trash out these issues.
Mr.
Because
Boyd, I believe you're contradicting yourself. A while ago you said that wouldn't go away so simple.
Right, well.
All right? So my question is...
That's how you have to deal it. You have to face it head on. You need to face it head on.
Well, you're not answering my question. We need to face it head on, which is to let these people know that their fight, their struggle is not of facilitating the poor. You understand? And there was once the masses. Now that they're in a position of influence, they seem to be being buffers. They seem to position themselves as buffers on behalf of the 1%, on behalf of themselves, because they have interests to protect. That is the issue I'm speaking about. So when they talk about gentrification, a new word I just like to call, but people, the host, not the host, the producer is saying that the producer is saying that ethnic cleansing is a word for wartime people. But if we is of a certain ethnicity and we have been badgered, we have been advantaged, we have been rooted out according to it, rooted out from one area without adequate consultation or adequate fair play. Nothing is fair as to what they're doing, carrying people all south, kind of children, rooting you out according to your words, rooting you out from your comfort zone, from where your custom, your culture, your heritage, all that going down the road. You understand what I'm saying? So we are saying we have a lot of work to do to sensitize the population and to get people thinking on an equal keel in terms of going forward in this society. The Micheal Morgan Show. Is that correct, Mr. Producer? Good. So your last words, because we can't move on and going on and going on. Your last word, please.
All right. Because of my background.
Yes.
Because of my background.
As a
public servant,
yes,
working with members of the public and so on.
Right.
And interacting with different groups.
Yes,
You understand?
yes.
There are some problems that we're going to have to deal with in a structured manner. In other words, we can't just ignore one side and just do what we want, and then we're going to get everybody happy, everybody living joyfully. The only way you're going to get the only way a situation will get that kind of thing, we must talk and come to agreements